So I was cut off a little bit on the other video, so I wanted to continue kind of going over this standard a little bit more in detail. Again, we are doing a reteach focus on 7W2, which is the literary analysis, which only 34% of you scored mastery on. So I've read the actual standard. This is the prompt that you had on your benchmark. I did a little prompt breakdown to really help you understand the important words in the prompt. And this is what I really want you to focus on. Many of you had the misconception that you were only supposed to identify the point of view, and you said whether the story was in first person or third person, but actually both of these stories are in third person. The first one is kind of tricky, drawing goodbye, because it kind of starts off sounding like Julius is talking, but he's really not. It's someone else telling the story. And then the second story, how Watson learned the trick, is all dialogue. The entire story is a conversation between Watson and Holmes. But what you really should have focused on after you identified the narration was the perspective developed through actions, inner thoughts, and feelings and dialogue with other characters. So that is what you really should have spent the bulk of your time writing about, how the perspective, which is also point of view, how that is actually developed throughout the story. So review. I asked you to review my model introduction and body paragraphs and complete the checklist. Then write. Then you will actually have to write a body paragraph for how Watson learned the trick. So let's go back to that very quickly. If you look at my introduction paragraph, it says, in Drawing Goodbye and How Watson Learned the Trick, the characters have contrasting points of view. The author develops the points of view in Drawing Goodbye by using first person, which provides Julius's inner thoughts. I'm sorry, this is actually not correct. It does not use first person, it uses third person. So let me quickly fix that. Third person, which provides Julius's inner thoughts and feelings about the big move. The author develops the point of view in how Watson learned the trick through the use of dialogue between the two characters. This essay will analyze how the characters feel or think differently from other characters in the story and explain how the author helped me understand their points of view. So, passage titles. I have both Drawing Goodbye and How Watson Learned the Trick. Check. Authors, there were no authors, so you can leave that. You can put an X in this box. We didn't know the authors of either story, I don't think. You can refer back to your benchmarks. Restate of the prompt. The important words in the prompt were contrasting points of view, analyze, develop, and I have all of those words, as you can see right here. I have contrasting points of view here. I have developed points of view here in my introduction, and I have this essay will analyze, because I know that is my job, and I have points of view and how the author helped me understand. That also refers to kind of like development as well. So I have all of the pieces that my introduction is supposed to have. Then if you move on to the body paragraph, you see this body paragraph is very, very long. And in the body paragraph, you know you are supposed to have a topic sentence, which basically tells the reader what this paragraph is focusing on. Answer to the prompts. What are the two contrasting points of view? Because that's what our prompt is asking us about. And how are those points of view developed? That is what is specific to this particular prompt. I have evidence, explanation, evidence, and then explanation again. Okay, so if you read through the body paragraph, it says, in Drawing Goodbye, third person narration focuses on the main character Julius by expressing his unhappiness about leaving the house that he has lived in for so long and moving to Baltimore. The author develops, again, there's that word from the prompt. The author develops Julius's point of view by describing Julius's thoughts and feelings throughout the story. So right there, that is where I identified for you how the author develops the point of view. So, for example, it says the story begins by stating, "If I don't open my eyes, thought Julius, then I can I can just pretend that everything is the same and that today will be the same as yesterday and the day before that. But it wasn't the same. And even with his eyes closed, Julius knew things would never be the same again. Today was moving day. This evidence, here's my explanation. This evidence sounds like first person narration, but it is really Julius's inner thoughts and wishful thinking about his desire to stay in the house that is familiar to him. He is not ready to accept the fact or idea that the move is a good idea. So this is Julius's inner thoughts and feelings. His point of view is very different. There's that word different, and that refers back to the word in my prompt, which talks about contrasting. Contrasting means different. His point of view is very different from the other family members. As seen in paragraph 7, it states Julius felt as though he were in a movie where his character was moving in slow motion. Everyone else was on fast forward. The movie soundtrack had all the instruments playing a different tune. This shows that Julius's family members accepted the fact that they were moving, but Julius had not. The reference to the soundtrack instruments playing different tunes refers to Julius not agreeing with the others about moving. So, in other words, it's like a bunch of different songs kind of playing at the same time, which also refers to the contrasting different points of view. Okay, so I've covered everything that I need to cover in my body paragraphs. Now it's your turn. It's time for you to practice and try to do a better job than you did on the benchmark. You have to rewrite a body paragraph for how Watson learned the trick. You may need to reread the story before you write this paragraph because a lot of you didn't clearly understand what was going on in the story, and you may not have actually realized that Watson really didn't know the trick. He thought he did, but he really didn't. So please take another try at writing a body paragraph for how Watson learned the trick. Model your body paragraph after, like my body paragraph for drawing goodbye. Make sure you have all of the necessary parts in your body paragraph. So you're doing this because we are going to start reading a story called The Necklace by Guy de Marpa. I can't say it. And while you're reading the story, you have to annotate the story and track how the wife feels and how the husband feels, because their points of view will contrast. It will be different. Tomorrow, after we completely finish reading the story and discussing the story, you're going to have to answer some multiple choice questions that are very similar to what you saw on the benchmark. And you will also have to write an intro and a body paragraph for the story, The Necklace. And the prompt is basically the same prompts as what you saw on the benchmark. It says you have read The Necklace and the husband and wife have contrasting points of view. Write an essay that identifies two contrasting points of view in the passage and analyze how the author develops those points of view. Be sure to include specific details from the text to support your response. So this is what you will have to do tomorrow. Okay, so I just wanted to kind of review for you basically what we're doing today and tomorrow and where we're going with this, so you will be very clear on what you have to do and what we are reteaching and reassessing. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. If you are in the independent station and on the computer, I want you to email your questions to me, and do not disturb me while I'm with the direct instruction students. Okay? So good luck on your reteach and your reassessment. Hopefully you will master these standards that we are going over.